Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming here. We are very, very fortunate to have a Rinpoche here. Give us empowerment and amazing teaching. We are very honored. So thank you, Rinpoche. Come here. Thank you. So also I would like to thank Lamas, Ani, and our best translator, Ina, and the Vietnamese translator, Chinese translator. So everybody just enjoy your time, a special time with our special teacher, Garchen Rinpoche. Okay.
Or any kind of, any kind of statue or tanka, or as you see, if you have anything else that you want to do that will be blessed by Rinpoche, that's the table with blessing items. Just make sure that you put your name on it so that you can retrieve it safely. The other is that we... Please make sure that you are looking at, there's a sign-up board for mandala offering if you want to do that, a share ride, and after today's empowerment, there will be Chod Sadhana, the liturgy that you can get by putting your name and email, and we'll email you that sadhana to your email address. So make sure that you sign that. And if you need to use the restrooms, please go outside and make a left, and a left, and the restrooms are over there. That's all for now. Thank you.
For Magda.
Yes.
Sorry. The Vietnamese translation, is it going to be at the same time or first English then Vietnamese? So I can tell Rinpoche. So Rinpoche knows when to start talking.
That's a Jeffrey question.
On loudspeaker. Will the Vietnamese translator be on loudspeaker? No, right?
Simultaneous?
Simultaneous, okay.
So it's going to be simultaneous translation for Vietnamese.
Dạ thưa quý vị, Việt Nam máy của người Việt Nam chúng ta chưa có sẵn sàng, cho nên quý vị đợi một chút xíu ạ. Dạ thưa, khi mà anh Jeff chuẩn bị xong thì quý vị người Việt Nam chúng ta có thể đến gặp anh Jeff ở đây, ngồi phía cuối dãy đây để mà lấy cái máy để nghe bằng tiếng Việt ạ.
各位需要中文翻译的，因为现在我们这里的 FM 还没有完全修好，过一会儿修好的时候就可以领耳机等等，现在还没有好。
So now the bosses were already finished with their speech, and now Rinpoche said, now it's my turn. So I have the biggest chair, but I also have a lot to say. So Dhamma friends have assembled from all over the place, and actually there are some who always come to the teachings. Ever since I first arrived in America, up until now, there are some who kind of always go together wherever I go, and they come to all the teachings. And so that is also because the flavor of the Dharma has arisen within their mind, and so therefore it is really excellent. And so, what I'm speaking about is the words of the Buddha. It is the Dharma. Therefore, it is also meaningful. What we really have to listen to is the words of the Buddha. And so the Dharma literally means, it implies a transformation of the mind, or we change the state of our mind, we transform our mind. So what needs to be transformed is within ourselves, it is the mind. And we transform the mind by purifying it over and over again. We practice to purify the mind. And eventually, the mind attains enlightenment. So there are basically 3 methods to transform the mind. And these are taught in accordance with the different mental capacities of the practitioners. So depending on, because there are different levels of mental capacity, higher, middling, or lower, due to that, the Buddha taught 3 levels of paths: the individual liberation, the bodhisattva, and the Vajrayana paths. And so in general, everyone possesses Buddha nature, and within Buddha nature, there is no difference. It is not that one is better than the other. Buddha nature is one. But then, temporarily, due to having habituated to and practiced the Dharma to various degrees in previous lifetimes, then now in this lifetime, we all possess varying degrees of wisdom or intelligence. And due to the difference in mental capacity that comes from previous lives, the Buddha taught 3 levels of the path.
그리고 소설로 빵진 이 다찬 도착을 다들 남게는 소설로 그리고 나랑 그들이 요체 보이마 동상도 다리도 하고요 다들 안 말이에요. 그래서 다들 들고 또 어떤지 다 쉬는데 와서 사생도 이기도 다들까지 제기들이 대파 나도 보고도 하고 나한테 이들은 또 다 지금에 보고 또 생각을 다 보죠. 다 내가 나도 잡기로 하고 난 다들 또 다들 가야지 또 가야지 다들 루즈죠. 루즈는 포토도 다들 내가지고 마음도 보고 누가 그래 사실은 다들 가봤다고 전부 미사를 가봐도 마음 보면 나는 가봐도 봤어. 대사를 이제 나사니까 우리 가봐보고도 대수에 미사를 봐 다들 뒤섭도 봐 근데 아침에 완전히 하고는 다른 그 코스 정답들이 다들 그 차를 쭉 이제 합체 쭉
So first in the path of individual liberation, here we are still considering the self as most important. So you don't want to suffer and you want to be happy. And you realize here that the causes for your happiness come from your body, speech, and mind. So on that level of the path, you learn to practice virtue and to abandon non-virtue. And as a result of that, you will experience happiness. So first you practice that, and gradually you begin to realize that the biggest problem actually is that self that wants to be happy. That really causes all the trouble. All faults come from that. So then you realize that actually, now in the Bodhisattva context, actually there is no real self. This body that I identify with is not who I really am. There is no real I actually. So on the level of the Bodhisattvas, we tame this self-grasping mind through peaceful means, through cultivating altruism. And in this way, gradually, that sense of I diminishes. It comes to an end. So that is what we realize on the Bodhisattva level. And so then today, entering the Vajrayana level, you realize that I really do not want to have this concept of a self. So the Vajrayana is a forceful method to eliminate this concept of a self. So you realize that actually there is no self. If you possess a certain level of wisdom or intelligence, you know that I only think that there is an I, but actually there is no I. This concept of I is created based on this body. But I am not this body. I just always believe I am this body. But I am actually not this body. For example, the body or the I, the so-called I that you identify with, is like a house, and the mind is like a person who lives in that house. So when you realize that you are not the house, you realize that I'm just living here for now, but in the future I will sell that house and turn it into a lot of money, and then I will go on. Actually, I don't need that house. I am not the house. So here in the Vajrayana, we transform, we cut through the self, grasping through a forceful means. And that is the essence of the chut. Chut means to cut through. So you realize that I am not this body. There is no I. And if you train in this now, then later, after you have died, the mind transforms. So that's really the whole purpose of the meaning of the chut. In essence, it is to cut through this false concept, this false belief of there being a self. As a result of habituating to the practice of not grasping at ordinary body and speech, then eventually that sense of I, an existing I, diminishes. And the ultimate fruition, the result, is the attainment of enlightenment. There's only one result, and that is Buddhahood. So what is Buddhahood? It is when you look at the nature of your mind, and when one realizes the nature of mind and realizes that there is no duality between self and other. Self and other are inseparable. When one realizes that, then the mind is experienced as vast, like space. So you might be familiar with the teachings on Mahamudra or Dzogchen and so forth. So the mind becomes vast like space when there is no more grasping at a self. And in that moment when the mind abides like space, one then naturally understands the true nature of one's mind. So now the term enlightenment or Buddhahood in Tibetan is Sangye, and so Sang is that, to clear away this dualistic grasping, this dualistic veil. And Gye, the second syllable, means vast or expansive. So when dualistic grasping has been cleared away, the mind then is experienced as vast, like space. So that is the state of Buddhahood, the ultimate result. And so now, in the practice of Chöd also is such a practice that transforms in this way one's body, speech, and mind. And there are many different lineages. Here we are practicing lesson lineage, and within that system of practice, many Mahasiddhas have appeared in the past, and they have provided many different methods and ways of practice, Chöd, for example. And so in general, actually, it is that the Vajrayana, the secret mantra, is rich in methods and require the least difficulty. They are actually very easily done. And also the empowerment now that we are going to receive belongs to the secret mantra. So this particular lineage derives from Majik Labdrön. There are many different Chöd lineages, but no matter what lineage it is, they all have the same purpose, and that is to cut through self-grasping. So the various gurus have taught various methods, but the ultimate result is the same. So this is the lineage of Majik Labdrön, and next we will read the historical background of this empowerment. So the brief Chöd empowerment called A Precious Garland. Now you will receive the profound Chöd empowerment. This empowerment contains the Dakini's extraordinary and profound secret words. First, for the disciple to develop firm confidence in this teaching, a historical background of the Chöd empowerment will be given. In the palace of the Dharmadhatu's vast expanse, in the pure sphere of Akanishta, dwells the great mother Samantabhadri, also known as Vajravarahi, Vajranairatmya, the selfless Vajra goddess, or the noble Lady Tara. From the tip of a light ray emanating from her heart, the boundless palace of the Akanishta Pure Land appeared together with a throne. At the center of this palace appeared the Dharmakaya Great Mother, surrounded by limitless Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions. From the heart of the Great Mother manifested a black, wrathful, Mara-subduing goddess, together with a fourfold retinue, who came to abide in the palace at the heart of the Dakini land of Udayana. From the heart of the Mara-subduing, wrathful goddess emanated the Dakini Selingma, together with a fourfold retinue, who proceeded to the palace of Gandola in Udayana. In order to benefit sentient beings, the Dakini Selingma took 170 different lives in the god and human realms. In the last of these lives, she took birth as Majik Labdrön. In Tibet, Majik Labdrön took 2 lives simultaneously, as the Chinese and the Nepalese queens of King Songtsen Gampo. These 2 later took birth as Yeshe Tsogyal. 4 Dakinis emanated from Yeshe Tsogyal: Majik Shama, Shelsam Dönema, Shangcham Drikung, and Lapki Durma. In her outer aspect, she is noble Lady Tara. In her inner aspect, she is the Great Mother. In her secret aspect, she is Vajravarahi, and in her innermost secret aspect, she is the black, wrathful Dakini. During the time of the Buddha Shakyamuni, Majik Labdrön manifested as the Bodhisattva called the Goddess of the Ganges. So what is the purpose of sharing a historical background? The Sutra of Distinguishing the Essence from the Residue says, in the degenerate age of the final 500 years, an emanation of the mother of all Buddhas named Drima will appear in the north in a place called Lab. She will be a master of the generation and completion stages. She will wander through towns, villages, valleys, charnel grounds, and hermitages, and her teachings will spread far. The root Tantra of Manjushri says, in times of degeneration, when my teachings will decline, an emanation of the Great Mother, the perfection of wisdom named Drima, will appear to teach the meaning of the unborn nature. Whoever connects to her teachings will attain unsurpassed awakening. In the general prophecy of the teachings of Guru Padmasambhava, it says, an incarnation of Tsogyal will appear at Sangri, the copper-colored mountain. She will cut through being's concepts, uprooting all discursiveness completely. Thus, her coming was foretold in many sutras and tantras. She had 16 supreme disciples who attained liberation through her teachings and who had actualized direct realization of emptiness. Furthermore, she established many gods, demons, and humans on the path of ripening and liberation. The fame of her teachings was such that 3 swift-footed yogins were sent to Tibet from Bodh Gaya to bring back her teachings to India. Having tested her on her recollection of her previous lives, and the 3 developed trust. Having given rise to faith, they brought back Magic's teachings to India. Thus, her renown of being an actual manifestation of the Great Mother illuminates the world like the sun and moon. Her teachings comprise the teachings of the Sutra and Tantric systems and the union of both. The lineage of the Sutra system is as follows. From the Buddha Shakyamuni to Manjushri to Nagarjuna to Aryadeva to Padampa Sangye to Gyodun Sonam Lama and to Magic Labdun. The lineage of the Tantric system is as follows. From the Dharmakaya Great Mother to the Sambhogakaya Vajrayogini and the Nirmanakaya Noble Lady Tara, who transmitted the teachings directly to Magic Labdun. The lineage of the union of sutras and tantras is as follows. From Manjushri, the Lion of Speech, to Noble Lady Tara, to the Dakini Sukhasiddhi, to the Brahmin Arya Devam, to Padampa Sangyem, to Gyodun Sonam Lama, who transmitted the teachings directly to Magic Labdun. Magic Labdun passed down her teachings to 3 of her sons. To her son Gyalva Dundrup, she transmitted the teachings of the Sutra system. To her second son, Töngyön Samdrup, she transmitted the true teachings from the Tantric system. And to her third son, Kugom Chöseng, she transmitted the teachings from the Sutras and Tantras combined. There were many followers, as many as there are stars in the sky, who became learned and accomplished in the teachings of this lineage. The great Mahamudra Chöd illuminates the world like the sun and moon. The specific lineage of this Samadhi empowerment that is conferred based on the Dharma was transmitted through Kugom Chugisenge, Dokten Dolva Sangtal, Sida Gyanak Cherbum, Sangye Ramngun, Sangye Wonten, Rigomba Chempom, Che Rangjung, and so on. These teachings of Chöd are instructions born from the heart of Magic Labdrön. They are the accomplishment of the Dakinis, one's best friend in the face of difficult circumstances. Through these profound teachings, one learns to see bad omens as auspicious fortune. Magic said this to her sons. Listen to your mother, sons. No obstacle will ever come. When you are sick, offer yourself to the demons, and you will attain well-being that is free from illness. Entrust your matters and wealth to your enemy, and you will seize the throne of fearlessness. If you let go of everything, you will be free of desire. See difficult circumstances as a friend. This is the instruction of your mother. Better than asking for protection and refuge 100 times is it to let them eat what they may, take what they may, just a single time. Giving away your body and life as food is the greatest protection sphere. Offering 100 Gana chakras is no match to accumulating merit through the Kusali offering. Offering 100 feasts is no match to performing the white and red distributions of Chöd. 100 prayer ceremonies are no match to giving away one's body, flesh, and blood. 100 monasteries are no match to isolated, terrifying dwelling places. 100 benefactors are no match to the patronage of gods and demons of the phenomenal world. 100 teachings of the Holy Dharma are no match to the view of boundless primordial purity. 100 pith instructions are no match to the Holy Dharma of Chut, the severance of demons. By merely knowing of or hearing these oral instructions of developing awareness of the tricks of your mind, the mind is playing on you, you will take birth as a child of the noble family in the Buddha fields. If you understand and realize these teachings, you will become a Buddha, supreme among two-legged beings. The Indian text of Chut, written by Aryadeva, says, the gods in the upper regions will be bound by Samaya. The Nagas of the lower regions will be subdued. The Nagas will accomplish any task you ask of them. Wherever you are, you can ask the gods to help you. All the Nagas will act as your servants. The Guru, Yidams, Dakinis, and protectors will regard you as their child. Once the tangible demons are cut off, the visual world will no longer appear as a threat. Once the intangible demons are cut off, male and female harm doers will be bound by oath. These and other excellent qualities by means of which to benefit others will eventually become immeasurable. These profound teachings will dispel illness, evil spirits, and obstacles in life. It is more profound and to the point than other teachings, and will lead to enlightenment quicker than any other path.
다다 네 로지나나 먹었어물에 이제 당신이 다톡으로 다다 네 다다 송축 조축 야체와 소식 책식 가스 나타난 것도 나디지 뭐가 오늘 송축 좀 당아 체는 거 사기 쪼고 상 다들 다들 잡도 수족 제거를 수족 셉셉 제거를 들이 동다 수족 제야 좀더 가려지 들이라고 선대식 좀 못해 좀 못해 내가 운동해야 이런 거래 내가 운동해야 강의들 내려지는 거 내리 수사 유모에 사래 들이 따와가 점제도 하고 정말 들이다 내에서 좀 용나야 소식 책책들이 다음에 가지를 별로 플라그니 멈춰야 다요 말이 그래서 다기 다음에 또 소리야 다기 님에가 차로요 이 답치는 들이 다다 대바이 소감이 우도 준비를 하면 봐세 어다도 동반이 좀 갖다 치고 보면서 봐 우리는 동라들이 동담다와 이선에 이베 시도로 선남하는 게 나지 이메가 그래 준비해 요 말이죠 저 코로 선배가 네 다도서 선남하는 나지 이메 저도 나지 이 요리 정대 이 요리 저 필시 벌과 야선이 남도 차서 레사 뒤레지 딱만 레바 차 다도 나지 소리요 그래 토마네 이 마음과 사지다 다 저질 레사 뒤들서 삼모하고 땅 애들 고자치 보여 그래 사지수는 갖다 내가 그러나 무슨 준비해서 와매 봐시 당도 핀지 노지 살지 나는 요리 동담 또 많이 들었다 노지 특당매가 노지 이매가 대하고는 들이 다른 좀 고자치들이 속다는 들고 그쪽으로 나지 이메가 나와서 되나 이제 내 하고 저거요 제 같이 뭐요 강남에 저한테 라마지로 이제 하고 내가 사치고나 말하기도 나타로들이 저도 양양도 과하고요 이 꾸점이 길어 근데 주저는 좀 맞지라고 나타하고 롯됐다 이제 조시가 그래서 약속이라 이 양도 좋아져야 돼 하고 해요
So there was a lot to this history, but then the essence ultimately of all of that is we have said that we ask deities and so on for protection. We We ask for prayer ceremonies. We ask for protection and refuge and so forth, long life. But then, ultimately, what is our true protection, really? First of all, Buddha nature always remains unharmed on the ultimate level. But then, on the relative level, for the time being, we do encounter suffering. And why? It is because we have committed certain actions. We have accumulated karma. Who has really accumulated it? It is our own afflictive emotions. So once you have understood the principle of karma, even though there is still some karma ripening, you do understand that ultimately there is no actual self. And you realize that, for example, when you practice the deity, then in that moment there is no self, but then it comes back again. But when you're actually abiding in the ultimate state of the mind, there is really no duality, no separation between self and others. So mainly when the Buddha taught the Dharma, he taught the twofold truth. The relative truth is, the teachings on the relative truth are the teachings on karma, unfailing karma. And the ultimate truth teaches emptiness. So if one doesn't really understand, one sees a contradiction there between relative and ultimate. It's hard to understand. But actually, there is no real contradiction. So when one has realized non-duality and the mind abides in this space-like state where there is no separation between self and others, then there is also no karma. There is no accumulation of karma. There is no going around wandering in samsara if there is no concept of a self. But once there is a notion of I and other, once that is present, even the most subtlest of thoughts develop in the mind. And then we act out on them in whichever way. We accumulate karma, and these actions form habitual imprints in our mind. And that we have done since beginningless time in samsara. So all of these karmas and imprints come from this concept of self. And in the future, it will continue to do, we continue to accumulate karma, considering ourselves as most important. With the self as the basis, we act out. So that is actually a point that you should think about very carefully. There is something very deep to understand here. There is actually no contradiction in the Buddha's teachings on the twofold truth. So on the relative level, karma is unfailing. So here we have a perception of self and other and gods and demons and so on. On the ultimate level, it is all empty. Ultimately, there is no real harm doer and no one that is being harmed. There is no duality between them. So once you understand that, once you know that, you will make an effort in practice. Even if you experience that just for one moment, if you experience this non-dual state where there is no separation between self and others, even for just a moment, in that moment you will begin to realize the true power of this practice. So that's why it is so important. And so in general, no matter what practice you do, it is always good first to know the historical background of that practice. For example, when you practice Mahamudra, then you should read Milarepa's life story. And that's something you should anyways read again and again. And then if you practice Chöd, then you should read Machik Labdrön's life story and also her teachings, her commentary on the Chöd practice. And as you keep reading and studying this over and over again in various ways, a very unique feeling and experience arises from that knowledge, from knowing about this. And so therefore, this is very important in the beginning.
Sodhukaya me bhava, Sakajaya me bhava, Anurabha me Savadada me bhayata kova karma sodha me Tataji angoro a O Bhagavi Asavadada Gata Beda Mame Meda Beda Mazumaya Valo Uma Savadada Gata Abeki Kadezuma Injiriya Ho Rani Yadala Savada Go Jatoya Sojujuda Jida the Kuba Jido Tomana the Omna Hong Lindoro Hawaii, Nedaji Daniel Besson, and Jito Malone, and the Sangha de Balo, Tadoman, Casoda Dodo Jedo, Naso, Jedo, Uncatimi, and the dinner, I sit over Lapai. They will go back on line also while Loga Becani. Woman, hold down, hold down, Dayawo Baga Bayara Dayawo me borro sotto che tanto sa che ne sono oggi con la giga ne me bomba bedara chiara beda sato somoya ma ne pala ya beda sato teno te trade do me bava so da gayo me bava so bejayo me bava anora to me bava so va te me par yeta so va to ma so da Gadam Jiam Guru Hung Bangave Savada Badama me Madame Dava Samaya Sado no one better me Hong Jan number of one is one better Hong Jaram Uso hungre jabora jal babor no balanjo sang damenya chado lidon ngaya ngaya gen ado yode ado chando damenya ro pasaje dunjoye ba mame ba ya lo do golorambo jen orambo Tumoromboje, Lomboromboje, Lomboromboje, Tamjoromboje, Momoromboje, Moya Bamba, Gigwama, Dewama, Lama, Medoma, Dobema, Nazarama, Deja, Yamanda, Romboje, Dog, Sole, Namparaja, Uzala, Damaya, Banjora, Bazon, Soba, Masama, Mipa, Jinga, Namparadaba, Kibge, Hingaya, Damien, Sume, Barden, Lama, Tambe, Shabra, Mizija, Wangar, Samu, Hiva, Yundam, Bavaraja, Toji, Rova, Dunda, Gizaza, Gines, Angela, Duzo. Saya beja saya medora Ralinge neda jambande Sanje genla mede purva Yenda jewa yo Koso yanzo lame sonanda Chena zanzan deye nije jo Dalu lonjo nazi yongye Lame joga ngada zardu jo Chansarwa dan juje shawa Yisa yaran geyen zawa ye Gewa junze doge jeza Tamje zobe zanjo zemo tani wang shuga kandi tani chuka lamkaya de chapdele tere longa namkan jasongje de tani rindang jasongje de rangi tani chuka longa jasongje kaka mari lamka laso shadi wasanti umodan sama 사람으로서 사도도 도도 많이 봐. 저기 야송하게 뭐또 맞을 추가해라고 그래. 무슨 통지 요바 들이들아 치바 제와 네바 또 그좀 좀 봐요. 되더니 로스도 먹고서 그때 추가로 속들이 그때 마마시가 하고 그랬던 롱걸로 다 맞아 이제 되어서 나지마다나 남시 야손하지 차로 올라나 세우동에 저거 나지 다소 차는 인지 다소 차는더니 인지 매와 그랬더니 라가 나와는 하고 롱주도 것이 봐대 싹강 야는 이제 띵어를 남카가 배운 거요 남카를 이제 걸치고 방치보다를 차죠 되는 거 소소하다 그럴 나가서 고치 와나지만이 이제 바로 막 딱 빨리 요래. 딱 빨리 좀 걸어서. 그 이제 이거 바람이 빨리 치는데 그 광고들 마치 라봉 쪽으로 되더니 다다다 라인 거다도 남걸 요거지 진정되더니 다다다 그 뭐가요 저기가 뭐야 단대체로 소하지. 막 뭐게 그제 로들 참
So when we are receiving empowerment now, during the empowerment, so we visualize that the assembly of deities appears before us in space. And so their space, like nature, is that the Dharmakaya, which is their mind, is all pervasive like space. So they're always there. And their Sambhogakaya form appears like a rainbow in the sky with 5 different colors and so on. Actually, the Dharmakaya and the Sambhogakaya are a union. They are not separate from each other. And so the assembly of deities, the deity that appears before you in space, is not composed of any material substance, like earth and rocks and so on. It clearly appears, but like a rainbow. It is clearly there, but it lacks any substantial essence. There is no substance. Its essence is empty. And this empty essence is its Dharmakaya nature. The appearance as a rainbow, the colors, are the Sambhogakaya. So we can really see the deity, for example, or a rainbow. And however, it's not just like a rainbow. The deity, the Sambhogakaya, also possesses perfect qualities of omniscience, of love, and of power. So Dharmakaya and Sambhogakaya are a union, a one. And most of you know about that. Sometimes also it is said that the Sambhogakaya can manifest in a pure, and there's a pure and an impure Sambhogakaya. So for as long as self-grasping has not been purified, for as long as there is self-grasping, there is this ordinary consciousness that continues on like a rainbow, but there still is suffering in the mind. So the body is like a rainbow body after death, but there is still suffering in the mind. And once one has eliminated dualistic grasping, self-grasping, then what appears, the Sambhogakaya, is recognized as one's own self-projection. So whatever deity you practice, it is that deity that appears in space before you. And actually, now when we supplicate to the deity during an empowerment, it is like we are opening the gates to a temple or to the mandala abiding in space. But so that is significant because we are just opening the doors. that is all we are doing. The deities are already there anyways. They are always here in space, but we just don't know that. But when we supplicate them, we know that, and we are opening the gates to actually connect to them. Actually, the deities are omnipresent. It is said they are the wheel, like an endless, ceaseless wheel of time, which means they are always present at all times. But in order to recognize that, we supplicate to the deities. And so today's principal deity is Magic Labdrön. We supplicate to Magic Labdrön. And now we think that Magic Labdrön and her assembly of deities appears before us in space. And so next we come to the visualization that I think Rinpoche will first read in Tibetan. So it says, in the space before you, upon a vast and spacious precious throne, Bam transforms into a lotus, Ram transforms into a sun, and A transforms into a moon. On this seat is your root guru, inseparable from the Dharmakaya Great Mother, in golden color, one face and 4 arms. Her first right hand holds a vajra, and the second one displays the protection-granting mudra. Her first left hand holds a volume of the teachings, and the other one is held in meditation gesture. She is adorned with various silks and precious ornaments. Above are the gurus of the oral transmission. In the middle is the assembly of Yidam deities. Below, she is surrounded by the Dharmapalas and protectors. Think that in their presence you take refuge in the 3 jewels from today onwards until attaining enlightenment. Thus, please repeat the following supplication.
소뼈 두섬 욕바예 상제 장첩 샘바당 롭분 나라 공서솔 륵바 짐바 나기네 둔데 내내 존내서 장첩 닝볼 시제발 빵바 퍼섬 족바예 상지 남라 잡선체 제절 노차 자와예 담추 남라 잡선체 강라 퍼와 동요배 겐든 남라 잡선체 라마 예담 칸로라 박소 로남 잡선체 상지 추당 겐든라 다소 로남 잡선체 추거 롱거 쫄거라 다소 로남 잡선체.
English. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, abiding in the 10 directions and 3 times, and the Vajra Master, please heed me from today onwards and until attaining enlightenment. I, a knowledge holder, take refuge in all the Buddhas who are the perfection of relinquishment and realization. I take refuge in the Holy Dharma, that is peace and free from attachment. I take refuge in the Sangha, the meaningful place of offerings. I and all beings take refuge in the Guru, Yidam, and Dakini. We take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. We take refuge in the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya.
근데 고초섬, 싸왔섬, 꽃섬, 방법 호탈교에 가서 고초섬, 화제초등학교 then 상신도 사가 가서 싸왔었는데 랑글 류예담 샘 라마 내가 가로 대박 가로 남녀들이 싸웠었는데 그때로 냐들라면 제버트 타고 가면서 꽃선들이 샘대 피고 고랑어들이 꽃으로 성산교에 그때도 매부까지 살아 새끼도 받으면 꽃은 제버이요 타고 방법 꽃은 라그 샘을 참교에 뭐 동마도 죽어 나갔다 라기 살아지 시대들이 동마도 정말 살람이 하고 사동성요 이 뒤가면더니 탐지를 잡을 뻔하니까 제가 쳐보 생기나 돈이 또보다는 힘이 살려고요 해. 나 혼막하지 오만 힘이 쳐보 시작하도록 다 되줄 라무스들이 라세대 저가 착거래. 다 저다 체크들이 힘이 살려 때래. 애들이 힘이 때들이 조금서 대하고 원래
So we take refuge in the 3 jewels, the 3 roots, and the 3 kayas. In the context of the individual liberation, we take refuge in the 3 jewels, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And then in the context of the Bodhisattva and the Vajrayana vehicles, we have the 3 roots. And when we engage in practice, the 3 roots are the body. One's body is the yidam, and the mind is the lama, and the speech is the dakini. So that is now in the context of one's own practice. And then when we attain the ultimate fruition, we accomplish the 3 kayas. And actually the seeds of the 3 kayas are already complete within our own Buddha nature. And when that potential then finally ripens, fully ripens, then one will manifest inconceivable forms to benefit infinite sentient beings. Then one has that ability. So how the 3 kayas are complete within one's mind is that the mind is empty in essence, like space. And that is the Dharmakaya seed in the mind. And then it is not just empty, it is also naturally clear. It clearly knows its own empty nature. So it is clear and empty. And then this all-pervasive, clear and empty nature, its all-pervasiveness, the pervasiveness of this nature, is the unconditioned love. When one realizes emptiness, true compassion actually arises. It is said that a sign of having realized emptiness is when this unconditioned, true compassion for all being arises, because it has this all-pervasive quality. And it is from that all-pervasive compassion that that produces the nirmana kaya.
이 짠도 손에 샘기 바란데 지비도 나 고조선을 잡서 손에 다 가이래 나 고조선 고조 잡거나 저거 샘기 거야 저거랑 샘들 등지제세 요래스 강내지 이를 피고서 로제 정고 요래스 대소가 샘기 기바데 다 좋더라 나 주고 상도 나 상대 쪽 나타 봤어 아마도 나지 찾아 내 새끼를 피고 선을 로제 정라 드리쪽 샘도 초왔다 못 들리려고요 그래서 그때 나도 나이고 새끼들이 나지 찾아 좀 인기 아주 이라고 그래요.
So we have taken refuge in the three jewels. So then what do we have to do next? We take refuge in the three jewels because we seek protection. If you really want to be protected, you need to also develop a mind of bodhicitta. And that is what we come to next. So the mind needs something to hold on to throughout one's practice. And that is the altruistic mind. That is what you always need to hold on to. So do not always think about I. Right now, all you think about is me, I. So don't always think about the I, but cultivate that wish to benefit others, and then hold on to that wish. So this is the first feeling, experience that arises. So first, when we take refuge, we are still thinking of I want to be protected. Next, when we come to the motivation of bodhicitta, then we have to let go of this I, and instead of thinking I, we have to think of others.
수업제 뜻은 욕바예 상지 장첩 선바당 로쁜 나라 몽소솔 르빠 zemba dakine tude nene zone so 장처 닝볼 치제발 제달 통지 dersek지 장처 토네 지바달 장처 선배 라빠라 름바 름지 더네 라빠달 다장 로라 핀동의 산촉 샘네 집지행 대비 더네 라빠랑 름바 인더 라빠지오.
And in English, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas abiding in the 10 directions and 3 times, and the Vajramaster, please heed me, just as the Buddhas of the past gave birth to bodhicitta and progressively trained in the Bodhisattva's ways, so shall I, a knowledge holder, give birth to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and progressively train in the Bodhisattva's ways from this time on until attaining enlightenment.
이 샘지바 손에 이나드바 너희 지도로 들이나드바 시바데 뉴목 쪽으로 뉴목바 쪽들로 막 사와티 들이 머리리 보라레스 거요레 티티 뉴목바 쪽들 이마들이 기타 단지지 뭐 야지지 뭐하들이 템바 이나도 니모고 똑니 보래.
Next, we will repeat the 7 branches. And so now the purpose of that is in our minds we have the 6 afflictive emotions. And driven by them, we act out with body and speech. So each of those 7 branches is an antidote to an afflictive emotion. And the last one, the 7th one, is the dedication. And that is an antidote to self-grasping, the attachment to the virtue that we have accumulated. So in general, the 7 branches are an antidote to the 6 afflictive emotions.
원초 섬라 다짬치 원초 섬라 창살로 원초 섬라 휴방벌 넥바 나게 소소샤 로베 게라 지랑 추제 홀로 꼴왈걸 냥이 맨다 육발솔 라미 산첩 쳔봉호.
English, all the Buddhas, I take refuge in the 3 jewels. I prostrate to the 3 jewels. I make offerings to the 3 jewels. I confess each and every negativity and non-virtuous deed. I rejoice in the virtue of all beings. I beseech you to turn the wheel of Dharma. I supplicate you not to pass into nirvana. I dedicate all merit towards unsurpassed and great awakening.
저쪽으로 창설로 시와 마자비니 보리 마자하 고을 말다 지하차게 제주 타바 습지 당신 마제가 왕다 마 추보고스 마마 제대로 강에메 마 강에메 추고오면서 없어지 제가 제레 마제가 타서가 대복래 대포만 하고 또 그래 세상 나서 뭐 유모 버스는 라망을 지금 샤바체도 그래 세상이 좋으니 보래 마장은 이고 세상은 이고 작바데 기술이란데 차도 이보래 초밥을 하는 도차도 이보래 제일 홀로꼴로꼴 와서 또 먹고 이보래 또 먹라 샘진 삼시 샘듯이 있는 보여자 사지가 추면나 남양 타바 토야 요 말에 대해서 또 먹고 이고 저는 양님한테 좀 와서 왔는데 태성분이고 태성들 사지를 대파요 졌다 사지도 요나 메나 마음벌 때도 싸고 사지 양님다 요 태성분이 보지 이렇게 다 나지기 보라더니 와서
First, when we prostrate to the 3 jewels, that is the antidote to pride. So normally, for the most part, we do not recognize our own pride. Actually, maybe 80% of our sentient beings' minds is really filled with pride. But we don't recognize that. For example, it manifests by thinking that I have no particular difficulties in this life. I don't really need the Dharma. I don't need any religion. That's actually a subtle form of pride too. And pride is ultimately ignorance. So that's the antidote to pride. Then making offerings is the antidote to attachment. And confessing negativities is the antidote to mainly hatred, anger, but also all the other afflictive emotions. Afflictive emotions arise often without us having much control over it, but we can purify them through confession. Then the antidote to jealousy is rejoicing. Supplicating to turn the wheel of Dharma is the antidote to ignorance. And so even though sentient beings all possess Buddha nature, if they do not encounter the Buddha Dharma, they will never become liberated. So therefore, turning the wheel of Dharma is the antidote to ignorance. And supplicating to not pass into nirvana is the antidote to doubts. Sometimes people, even though they are devoted to the Buddha, they still have doubts in their mind and they wonder, does the Buddha really exist or not, or will he be here in the future, and so on. So that's the antidote to doubt. And lastly, the dedication of one's roots of virtue is the antidote to self-grasping, the grasping at one's roots of virtue.
타고 중앙 셈을 걸어서 중앙 셈을 걸어서 다 보아리 레셈 카가에 바데 다 용다 지고요 좀 보아 참지는 조금 보아도 자서 되니 듬듬라 장진봉을 서지쇼래도 매번 안을 탑달 따와서 이제 노 타톡과 따와 되나요? 또지도 과보지 대포와자에 도다니 시소보 동네 지랑 남 강반이 저때 정말라지 저 삼모자때 루제 낭탐제 도만 좀 붙다와다고 감들 이서 특례가만 기사를 돌라 요즘에라마 나 맞으로 소화돼 봐데 다든지 노래 이게 정말 따뜻하게 보아래 이르데 다통 좀 아프다 봐도 나도 가양을 봤다고 맞지 벌써 못한 들이 옛날에 나다 야랑의 상식을 셈싸고 되고 또 셈싸고 되고 그다음에 내들이 르즈들이 도와통 받아오이 내가 라트로 잘라들이 요즘 라마트게 남카카르다 요고 사람들이 제가 앞에 이 소들들 같이 보면 동거에 소들께서 뭐 지서도 공장들이 공장들 뭐 강하게 깜틀이에서 팔에서 틀을 갖고 제 마탐 용도 말에서 틀을 막고니 내 파만이 내가 깜틀 이용을 요상 이 봤더니 틀을 가만히 납치게 이제 대사스다네 대지스들이 빠져서 거리 틀을 가만히 돼 배우고 다소 왔다 터지들인데 뭐 맞아서 다로 맞잖아. 또 왔다 맞아들이 그냥 그 잡아 보시래요. 보여면서 뭐 맞아서 시에는데 소 왔다 배 지서 호텔에서 소 왔다 배 깜짝에 틀리 가만히 얄 판이 산에서 배 사마사지 공화점 쪽도 저서 사마사지 공화대 다 이제 다 태원삼 아대로 제조가 라마라마 보송고요. 그래서 틀어보면 지구공화점 에서 그리디 틀리디 르바타 틀리 대와 아니 제바 틀리 쪼라 통에 틀리 따쪼리 로고를 틀리 텔레신자 나팔을 주었다. 어찌하는데요? 자와 제스가 소독을 잡아 따주저 타와 나타가 잡아들 마차 마지바를 봐. 이미 나파 봉주들이 패정하게 야들 들에 좋으니 양서 통은 나파의 의미도 톡스리는 나크에 같이 배찹 rikpa chapdar chukur chapdar chibu hana nyambar choche song te so chere ti ta to gom jana ta lo jana o te lo hu ti ta ha ko re te di saba lo le yang saba ya te yang na to ma ko jo na to jo ma ko wa da ka ter tri ni tri ya de te na kala ta yin se yo re pa te re pa mana ya lo jana ya ko yo re ya ko chang ti to lo wa.
So then we come to the main part of the empowerment. And in the text it says it consists of two parts. First, there is the Dharma empowerment is conferred upon the mind. And that is the transference of consciousness that opens the gate of space. So here in the context of this transference or powa practice, we are training in separating the mind from the body. And so here's an instruction on that by Machik Labdrön. She said, let there be sufficient tension in the bowstring and then eject it far away. Once the consciousness is transferred thus, leave it in its natural state in outer space. Let it abide naturally, without hopes or doubts. Shine with the view that is free from limitations. This is the ultimate view. The Chöd practice of opening the gates of space is unmatched by 100 transferences. So then next comes the visualization for that. And so it says here first that disciples should stand up and join their palms on their crowns. But Rinpoche says we will not do that. So what's more important than standing up or your body is the mind. So you can just fold, instead of that, you can fold your palms at your heart when you do the supplications later. And so then you visualize that your body is completely empty like an inflated balloon. So there is nothing in your body at all. There is just, all there is the central channel. Then on the soles of your feet are the white and red drops. So the body is completely empty, and through the center of your body there is the central channel, and above you is the assembly of deities. And now when you supplicate, you join your palms at the heart, and so there is these two drops that you visualize at the soles of your feet. So Rinpoche says, I'm mentioning all of this now. Actually, we come to these stages gradually as we read, get along the text. But Rinpoche feels it's better to mention everything now and not interrupt your meditation again and again. So he will give the whole explanation right now. So you basically just visualize the central channel. You meditate, visualize the central channel, and at your soles you have the white and red drops. So the red drop is the right sole, the sole of your feet, and that the white drop. The white drop is on your right sole, and that is the drop that you receive from your father. And then the red drop is on your left sole, and that is the drop you have received from your mother. And so these are the kind of now the support for your consciousness. That's where your consciousness is. And so then you supplicate. So we get to that throughout when Rinpoche keeps reading the text. And then we supplicate. Rinpoche will read the whole supplication because it's quite long. So we will just listen to the supplication. And so then after the supplication, when Rinpoche is done with the supplication, then it says, having supplicated thus, think that the white and red drops visualized at the soles of your feet rise up and merge at the secret chakra, where they transform into a singular sphere the size of a small bird's egg. So it's about the size of a thumb joint, about an inch, like a little bird's egg. So that is at your secret chakra. Then gradually this bindu, this sphere of light, arises from the secret chakra to the navel, to the heart, to the throat, and then to the crown. And then the text continues, your body consists of 32 impure substances and a web of blood vessels, nerves, and flesh. Without attachment, without clinging to this leather bag, cast your awareness aimlessly into space. So after that, then Rinpoche will exclaim 3 pet. So we will not do it, Rinpoche will do it. And so at that time, think that this light sphere from the crown shoots out into space and merges with space. So it says then the light sphere shoots out from your crown where it completely merges with space. Thus, wherever space pervades, your awareness pervades. Wherever awareness pervades, the Dharmakaya pervades. Rest evenly within the state of infinite pervasiveness. So Rinpoche decided to go over this now, because first there is visualization, then there is supplication, then again visualization. But he feels that if he keeps interrupting your visualization, then that may lead to more thoughts in the mind. So just visualize in this way your body completely empty and the 2 bindus at the soles of your feet, and then later then they rise up and merge at your secret chakra, and then they move through the chakras to the crown, and then with pet they shoot out into space and merge with space. So now is actually the time where we should take a break first, and then we will resume that visualization. But during the break time, what you should reflect upon is this line here, that your body consists of 32 impure substances and a web of blood vessels, nerves, and flesh, and so on. So reflect upon that. Normally, we have a very strong fixation that our body is real and that's who we really are. We are extremely attached to our bodies. And Milarepa actually says that even if you're attached to that body, that pile of this aggregate, you cannot stay. So people want to live long, they want to stay around, but even though we want that, we have no control over it whatsoever. And conversely, other people are in so much pain and so ill that they want to die. And often we have also no control over this. But actually, even if the pain is intolerable, in a precious human body, we are purifying negative karma. So we should not fall into both extremes of complete self-mortification or indulgence. So think about how it is when we are attached to our body. Think about the nature of the body. Actually, even though we are attached to it, that is what it really is. It is composed of various impure substances. So when you think about this again and again, then your attachment to the body will diminish. In the 37 practices, it says, consciousness, the guest, will cast aside the guest house of the body. So that is something you should really reflect upon again and again, because now we have the freedom to do so. So now we take a break for about 20 minutes because the restrooms are also a little bit far, so we want to give enough time. And then when we resume with the empowerment, then we will return to that visualization that we had just mentioned before.
Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Mama Aye Jana Paye Patengara Yasoa. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Paye Patankaraya Sova. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye puten koraya soha. Tare tu re mama ayu jana puye Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara Sowa. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jana Paye Paten Kara. Yanfen.你帮这打开。
最近感冒了，吃高用的。
有嘞，这什么呀？有什么？种种啊！那么这个。그니 지나다가 먹방에 나지 그니 그건데 샘속어 제가 안되는데 르베단데 묵속어 버리지 어따지를 르베 무슨 내가 지와서 제지 기타는 누가 치료 송화되라 와서 무슨 팽이요 새다 아주 가가라 내가 시탄나양들이 속보들 차는 용치고 납치도 속 그러고 부모가 돌아티 내는들이 능의 용 아마고 이런 거 용고요래 그래서 세부단지 메나 어디 다다는 오카를 봐 하콜들이 좀 로빈듯이 참 차대는 무슨 요거들이 따뜻하게 이렇게 마양상한테 지나 더 치게 봐. 더 치만 거래. 대 바이 거래. 요래 배발 같이 모래지.
We just explained that visualization before, and so you can see that the mind is most important in the context of truth. And so regarding our body, we fixate on our body we think that the body is the I. And of course, when it comes to external physical activity, there is some importance actually that is to be treated also somewhat important, because the body, for example, should observe moral discipline, ethical discipline, and so on. There are many benefits to that. But then, even more so, should we focus on the mind, actually. Because if we still believe, even though we hold those vows with the body, if we still cling to this concept of self in our mind, then after we have died, there still is this imprint of being attached to the physical form. And that leads to a lot of difficulties. And then the consciousness will enter any body that it can get, and it will experience misery for a very long time. So therefore, right now, it is good for us to understand that we are not this body, that this body is just like a guest house, a hotel. We separate from this body right now. We separate our mind from clinging to this body as being the I, that self. And so for this reason, we are offering this body again and again. And in this way, we cannot think of it in terms of particles, little particles that accumulate, mind particles. So the more we think about the self, the more of these kind of imprints or particles accumulate. So we are accumulating a lot of habitual imprints, basically. And that is the reason, because of accumulating these mind particles or actual imprints in the mind, that's why the visualization is so beneficial and so important.
채려고 그래. 카가 채려고. 다시 주요주를 남아다 변화를 좀 홍나기 소화돼 봐디 해지나 남아 빼마고다리 공시반기 남아세 사게 요래 남아세 상체들이 그다음 무슨 요 말했잖아 요래 고소 셈셔야요 말이 니스메 동도 오래더니 죽고 남카게 되는 보절 요 말 고소 셔야매 봐 다다 도지 장대들이 철지야매 봐 파셔와매 봐 베스사베 남카서 제시베와 때문에 상기에 시바들 철지와 미바지를 놓고 다 죽고 좋은 거래 저 로가를 좋은 파시야 요말 거서 이 대사와 하고는 딱 버리 요래 그러나 과다가 잡히기는해서 나길에서 나과다 잡디 요래 이 나올 삶았을 때 소화까지 끝났더니 빈만하게 되는 남기는 요거 요거서 이제 초와지는 서방 고체 그래 일변이 받치 보여래 이 같이 머리 이쪽을 남아서 뭔가지 조금 something 다다 소화 나게 셀로에 맞아 주로 로이치가 말해 보여 돌이 되는 거고 그래.
So then we have come back to the visualization then. So we have visualized before the entire assembly of the church lineage masters and so forth, this entire divine assembly gathering in the space before you like clouds. And then in their presence we supplicate. And so as Rinpoche mentioned before, he will do the supplication on our behalf. And so we mentioned before there's many masters, lineage masters, they are abiding in space. And you might think that they are not really there. We are just kind of imagining it. But actually they are really there because their mind never dies. They have realized the truth of non-duality. So their mind has merged with the space of the Dharmakaya. Their awareness, their wisdom is there. They have not passed away. They abide in the nature of Vajradhara. The nature of Vajradhara is space-like, and that is, it transcends birth and death. That is enlightenment. And because it transcends birth, naturally, effortlessly, those emanations of Sambhogakayas and Nirmanakayas manifest in the 6 realms of samsara. So they actually can never die, they never die. With that understanding, develop an awareness now that they are really here in space, pervading space. Like we say in a supplication, a supplicate to Chenrezig who pervades space. So when Rinpoche does the supplication on our behalf, we think in this way. And whenever you do a supplication, they think that they appear like clouds in the sky naturally. And in this way, if you think in this way, a special feeling, an experience of their presence arises. And when that feeling of their presence arises, your mind opens up. And when it opens up, then myriads of powers unfold from that. So always remember that the gurus are actually always there when you when you make a supplication. So now Rinpoche will do the supplication because it is quite lengthy and very difficult, so he will do the supplication on our behalf.
Kolen Shiva Aryan Devala Sovan Dea Nela Toden Langura Tuko Tamba Sanjila Sovan Dea Ne Javoni Sansana Jotusana Lamala Sovan Dea Ne Sana Kam Goemala Machulabja Drumala Sovan Dea Ne Tashi Langa Gomana Se Jarve Tondra Sovan Dea Ne Insara Gomana Jim Jim Bala Sovan Dea Ne Namzonga Namzo Toga Sovan Dea Ne Jazan Pola Jiran Zongdojila Sovan Dea Ne Garchen Chuja Pola Darjava Yasila Sovan Dea Ne Jazok Bede Ne Jurju Belamala Sovan Dea Ne Ran Ruja Jen College Song we are lost so de Simba so the Pora Chumangu Janra so de Dawson de Bola Angelo Jinson Baje Jawada what Homo Yaja Gordo Jiwa Me Balam Nato Jondo Jaje Dang Tamazo San Sari Jawa Sanjalo Ne Long Dari Pevon Nesran Sari Jawa Sanjalo Modon La Dodon Jawa Sanjalo De Tokye De Form the Gabdu Down here the Jiran Sari Jawa Sanjalo Isara Drummer Sanjalo was in the Java Sanjalo Yatene Joba Sanjalo Zicho Lambda Rover Sanjalo Linchu they don't know Sanjalo Teta Solata Pe come to the Jettle Kamani Ya Pane Sani Dia Samasa Joguma Sam Jo in your mother, Deva Nyinga Dimba Joyaton. O Chijalu Madama Jesam Soyi Pesaju Java, not talking Japan Della. Maji Bar Pati Minam Parampu. Tada Jatok so. Darby Tombash didn't talk about it. Go to Jane, Woman, go the issue going by Delhi Pachaji, had any talk woman and Nashisuna, police woman here, do your Mary, Lyra, do your without my she's a love at the party. Look what how much just up the table, the day of Tawamati, don't put it home to the Takota Madavasa. Madavata, you know what to come shaking in order to get your goyang. You got some tick down myself, the Salman, the that I sit out of my top, just go with it. Now she just Lena, Sandy about it, go the Banagi, something similar Sandy Shell with the pill. What if you know, 8 hours something down with it. Donna, really see what you done, neighbor. Yeah, that's not selling the water. You know, that's the mere tare. Oh, that's really see my one. It's a young thing out of that. DJ over it. This is a picture of a cousin. One judgment until one other. Can't the after the other lip. The other thing. Young car, neighbor. John, I said, Nakalasi. The Gonjat and Gonjat Bori. The Gonjat Matana, Nakal Sourcing Nakaka, but this him the Shanadini, Mr. Casa and Nakal Sadi Kandiwa, there to a Shana, young Alan Drachak.
So the drop then leaves through the crown, and so the crown is significant. For example, during the refuge vow, a piece of hair is clipped right from our crown, and this clipping of the hair opens the door to the central channel. The central channel is the wisdom channel. The gate is the wisdom gate. There are many different gates, exit doors in our body, and the only wisdom door is the door at the central channel. So if the consciousness leaves the body through the central channel at the crown, then certainly one will be born at least in the higher realms like the God realm, but not in the lower realms. And that is why we are always instructed to keep our focus, our awareness at the crown, remembering the crown. It is endowed with many blessings. So that's the reason why we visualize in this way. And then there is many impure gates and impure channels throughout our body. The lower gates, the lower openings of our body, if the consciousness leaves through any of these gates, one takes birth anywhere in the other 6 realms of samsara. But in any case, we should actually not even think about any of those other gates, those other doors. We only should direct our attention to the crown opening at the central channel, the opening to the central channel. And think that above your crown is this divine assembly having the nature of your root guru or the Buddha Amitabha. And when the consciousness at the time of death reaches the crown, the Buddha Amitabha is there waiting for the consciousness. So if you really know how to supplicate by thinking in this way, then the Buddhas will immediately, instantly appear within your mind, and you will go there without any attachment to your body. So right now we have a strong attachment to the body, and for as long as we have this attachment, we have to practice the offering of the body again and again. So next, when Rinpoche will exclaim the path you should visualize in this way, so we mentioned before the 2 drops come up to the secret chakra, then the navel, so they're merged, then there's 1 drop, and then that 1 drop rises through the navel, the heart, the throat, and then the crown slowly rising upward. And then when it reaches the crown, it is ejected out into space where it merges with space. So if you know how to visualize in this way, then meditate like this. And if that's difficult, you can also just think that in the space before you is the entire field of accumulation, so all those Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and so on. Actually, when that appears in your mind becomes like a blossoming and opening flower. So to think that the space is filled with Buddhas, and that also leads to a very special feeling. And so that creates then a connection to those Buddhas abiding in space.
내가 백선제의 상내니 때와 명하 내바 이쪽으로 백성하게 서로 통을 같이 다섯 나가를 세 그래야지.
So now Rinpoche will say 3 pets, and at that time visualize how that drop moves from the secret chakra to the navel, to the heart, to the throat, to the crown, and then leaves through the crown opening and merges with space. So then mind merges with space.
헐. 헐, 헐. 특례대 교원의 양세통 남카나 예미 촉세리 남케 가착 르베 찹 르베 가착 주고 찹달 쳔붕을 냠벌 쇼제 범래 계속 남발 따에 등의 진상 남과 남발 차바시 서버 등의 진상 남카 제발 바시 서버 등의 유도 지송과 동의 따라 준더 내나 따른 초에노 공장 내 방법에 롱을 무송신 무송도에 저런 거를 빠지 천두 무진저 봐 다네 저런 거를 생기가 내미 염침을 그렇게 봐
So it says the light sphere shoots out from your crown, where it completely merges with space. Thus, wherever space pervades, your awareness pervades. Wherever awareness pervades, the Dharmakaya pervades. Rest evenly within the state of infinite pervasiveness. The extensive Prajnaparamita in 100,000 verses explains the meaning of space-pervading awareness in terms of 3 samadhis. The samadhi of fully gazing into space, the samadhi of fully pervading space, and the samadhi that expands and fills up space. Always abiding within this state is the supreme view. However, as a beginning practitioner, you should be mindful and purify the obscuration of believing in the true existence of phenomena. In this way, your body and mind merge non-dually with the form of the Great Mother.
진짜 아이값은 진이지나 나이지 강마 사태 가지는 라메트 아이끼들 양고 집발에
So we are supposed to visualize the Great Mother, the Prajnaparamita, and if that's difficult, then you can also just think of a white A syllable. And that white A is actually also very significant in the Dzogchen practice, because by merely thinking of the A, the white A, there is no other thought of self and other. So instantly, without any other thought, bring to mind a white A, and it has the same essence as the Great Mother. And then it says, then assuming the 7-point posture of Varochanam, cut through all conceptual elaborations of the 3 times. Without thinking anything, rest at ease within a natural state.
소식이 되네잖아. 이제 난 가야면 봐라. 기뻐요 bakal. 팍. 들 저 또차를 세들 똥차선 로요래. 제가 랑래. 다 지금 미만 보지. 백 조지야 가고 백 일 요나 나도데 샘키더니 백 일을 지나 이렇게
라.
내 초콜릿 백 일. 나도 백 일을 지나 나도 참지해서 봐. 내가 오는 거를 내가 좋다. 내가 백 찾아보러 시작하고. 제목 걸려 나도 백 얘기하더니 똥창을 안 들어오요. 나도 탑하라고 남는 거요. 인연 무신한테 백지 양양도 끼고 양통도 해야 돼. 독지를 가지고 백 양거래.
So then again, Rinpoche will say 3 pet. And in general, what is the meaning of pet, the purpose of pet actually? So normally, the mind is quite restless, and there's a ceaseless chain of thoughts arising in the mind all the time. And the pet cuts directly through these thoughts, through the thinking. And so normally you would shout out pet when you are at a place where you're by yourself alone and there's no disturbance, or you're not afraid, it's a safe place. And then you shout out pet. And the moment you shout out pet, already that moment, all thinking has been shattered by the pet. And instantly, the mind has become completely empty. So that's the purpose of pet. So right now, there's a lot of people here, so it's difficult for us to shout out pet. So someone else is saying it for us. But you can also just bring it to mind. And even if you just bring the pet to mind, if it arises in your mind, that sound of pet, that can bring an end to all thinking in your mind. And actually, when in the context of Dzogchen practice, when we practice the Chekchum, the direct cut, that is what we really have to habituate to, that direct interruption of thinking. So the moment a thought arises, you cut through it with the knife of awareness in the form of pet. So instantly, as soon as something comes up, you say pet, and the mind becomes completely empty. You cut through the thought, and there's nothing there. Normally, the thought that we cling to is like a rope. It ties us up more and more tight. So that's the experience that we gain in the Chekchö practice of Dzogchen. We cut through the thoughts as they arise. And here we do that by exclaiming pet. So pet is also significant in the Dzogchen practice.
Hey. 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 Tēnā bōmlē kāng bā mī kēng yīla sāra mī bā nē sācī jīsā tīmbā wā chū jīsā tīmbā wā gāndī jīsā tīmbā wā jī sōng sō mā chī kā shā nē dhīm jī dhīm lā lū jī lū rī bā yā chī tēnā dā tā tō kū tā wā chī tēnā dā tā tō kū sācī chī tēnā dā
Again, the extensive Prajna Paramita in 100,000 verses says, when you think of nothing and are without mental activity, you are recollecting the Buddha, you are recollecting the Dharma, you are recollecting the Sangha. Majik Lapdran said, be firmly concentrated, yet loosely relaxed. The pith of placing awareness is like that. The ultimate point of the view is like that. This is the ultimate Buddha. So she said, be firmly concentrated, yet loosely relaxed. Firmly concentrated is that first we need to concentrate our mind. We have to meditate, we concentrate our mind. But then when thoughts dissolve and there is no thought in your mind, then you can just stay within that state in more loosely. So at this point, you have to know how to relax the mind. It is not advisable to always sustain tension. So first you need to concentrate the mind, and once thoughts have left, then you stay in a loosely relaxed state. So we need to focus again and again and loosen again and again. It's almost like we are taking turns. We loosen, we focus, we loosen, we focus, just like actually like a heartbeat, like a pulse. So this completes the Dharma empowerment that is conferred upon the mind. Next, the deity empowerment is conferred upon the body. Visualize the Dharma that is placed onto your crown as indivisible from your root guru in essence and the Great Mother in appearance. She appears as Majik Labdrön, white in color, with one face and two arms. With her right hand, she plays a Damaru drum held aloft in space. With her left hand, she holds an upturned bell made of reflective silver at her hip. She is adorned with 6 bone ornaments, and half her hair is bound up in a top knot, while the other half flows freely. She is surrounded by her retinue of 4 dancing dakinis. Above her are the lineage gurus, in between the divine assembly of yidams, and below the Dharma protectors gathering like clouds. In their presence, give rise to faith and respect with body, speech, and mind, and supplicate to them with intense yearning.
Hong, Hong, Ma, Yumqin, Togle, Zhe Se, Ma Jik, Zhuo Mo, Nam Jur Ma, Parur, Simpe, Top Ma, Gardin, Yongke, Gu Chor Ma, Da Tang, Mupe, Perop La, Sinji, Lapar, Zedo So.
Hong, you were born from the heart of the Great Mother, Magic, Noble Vajrayogini, who has gained final accomplishment and who liberates the minds of fortunate ones. Please grant your blessings upon me, a devoted disciple.
我这个说话特别他说那么些，这玩贵我干过来，我认出，我说干不错，把这边把送枪那么的，这玩成呗，直接过来说呗，这大概也是那就不没帮助就。네, 나 공부를 나쁘라서 지 메롱도 좀 니자데 남이들이 또 잘들 샤르들이 들리들이 라또 tanti 어저데 바티 소소라들이 가로 온 데발아 아 진가로 홍 데발 소라 소바들이 나와저리 단다고 단다고라듯이 지가비 닮은 바고 니들이 놀라들이 소주 템지 뭐 바고면 래
So there is a visualization now where we visualize how light radiates from different places of the deities' bodies who abide in space. And so first of all, the deities abide in space, and here you have the Dharma, and on top of the Dharma is this picture, this Tsagli picture. And this picture is like a mirror that reflects the deities abiding in space. So think that when the light rays radiate one by one, that it radiates from this image here above the Dharma, which reflects all the deities in space. So then in stages we visualize how light rays radiate from the at the forehead, and the A at the throat, and the Hung at the heart, and the Shri at the navel, and so forth. So for each of these steps of visualization, think that the light rays are coming out from this image here at the Dharma, above the Dharma.
오늘의 속지 tempo 산라 자주서 마제도 지들 조서서 제도니 저런 메신저 라마제도 선저로 마지막도 빠지지 마지막 왕조 발체 소리 마지막 동마지지 마지막 왕조 고제 마지막 속지서 마지막 그래서 마지막 람나로 마지막 마초랑 따라서 제로 되어나 가대 바람 삼가대 모두에서 마음이 시작 가로마 라저도 꽤자요 어디 거야 왕톱 다양한 만들기도 도저 라손남들 집에 송거 아마 보려 저밥을 줘 받을 가서 저런 놈들이 벌써 아까 걸려서 봤다가 저거 다 송거 사람 이거 보면 방도
we have just completed the first one, and so the visualization for that was from the white at the foreheads of the assembly of deities. inconceivable white light radiates. It dissolves into your forehead and purifies the negativities and obscurations accumulated with the body. The blessings of enlightened form have entered you. And now next, we are coming to the second. From the red at the throats of the assembly of deities, inconceivable red light radiates. It dissolves into your throat and purifies the negativities and obscurations accumulated with speech. The blessings of enlightened speech have entered you.
마음이 시장 하루만 합주로면 송그라시 요 송그 예서 그지랑 탑 다양한 받아주던 도저 또 남자 톡경고 이게 홍도가요 저 홍부 초바는 매반투 그처럼 남자 같은 이제 오늘서 버들 다 톡겨서 하고 매 봐도로서 어째도 통제 매매예 가르마마 울레 공조조다나 거샤총라 도와 이제 강로 법여고 전에 나고 롱에 특지 일모서 산업 charju설 마제도지들 욕조조 마제도지들 용료 선절라 마제도 소 선절로 마주방 팔제소제 마제마 도바지 마종 왕조 버르제 마제마 어저 조제 마조 토지 동제 마제마 람나 동제 마종 마체랑 다오러 선제 야가온 가데 바라 상고데 모데서 마음이 지정 가로 말아줘도 뭐 특별하지 대창 조용하가 요 이제 저런데 다 특별한 참망상을 이렇게 소강 몸도 네 대체 제가 야도 세지디게 마음이 지정 가로 막 우리 공산소잖아 사촌나 돈나
제대 제거를 나는 홍들을 랩차르와
우네
홍 드니 맥바마다 제대요 말이잖아
아
제대 여러에 그래 제대 여러
이 소창으로
홍기 맥바대로
아니 창으로 저는 이 소체
아하
소체들이 지리 참에 꼬르가 지리 변은 주는 거라
선대 여러에 되나
하고
선대 여러에 달라티 홍기 어서 뭔가 쳐도 마다 말이야 알았어
이거 말이야
요선에 따라요 말이야 다니 홍 되니 아 홍시 패더니 어서 쳐 림바스네 쳐비어라
뭐 디아나 간데 빨아 삼어도 뭐돼서 마음이 지정 하루만 라주 좀 독재라시요 진짜 다 독재왕나 송거왕나 저도 나요래 대냐더니 나 다다다 아이값 차라리 온 같아가지고 바람 같아 바람 상고도 못해 수한테 탑송상 독일왕다 러요에 러디 지오들이 홍차가 요 홍차가 요 호장 인치가 홍나 탐송상 연도더니 홍보를
So to represent the speech empowerment, we receive nectar, and so then think that you have received the mantra Galant. Where is it? Then around the white arm, and then the mind empowerment. For the mind empowerment, you receive a pill, and think that there is a small blue hung in the pill. So when you receive it later, you take it as a whole. So then, fourth, from the yellow shri, having the nature of enlightened qualities at the navels of the assembly of deities, inconceivable yellow light radiates. It dissolves into your navel and purifies the obscurations of grasping at the three doors as separate. The blessings of enlightened qualities have entered you. So then from the green pet, having the nature of enlightened activities at the secret chakras of the assembly of deities, inconceivable green light radiates. It dissolves into your secret chakra and purifies all negativities and obscurations accumulated with body, speech, and mind without exception. The blessings of enlightened activities have entered you.
칠레지 지난 나과 통바이 대다 거 송토 용띠 칠레다 집에 왕 지난 용도 통네 사람 까불만요 또만데다 예미바 마치 랍지로 말이지 가도 초도 집어 뜬거 잘라 주열 주버 라마 바지 잘라 이담 추만남 추말라서 오고 잘라 주열 주버 송마 탐지 진짜 총무 좀 받아라 지난 게 쪼을 송데 내지 소와 제다 답 사람 무릎 낭리 사소 탐지 오고 셔 오도 땜스 전에 장놈들 영화 이선다 마치 랍지 좀 먹고 좀 예미도 저거 낭라 샘 맞고 바로 저게
You have received the complete empowerment of enlightened body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities. And next is the protection blessing. Visualize the Dormam, indivisible from magic Lapton, surrounded by the 4 Dakinis. Above are the gurus of the Chöd lineage. In the middle is the assembly of wrathful Yidam goddesses. And below are the protectors of the Chöd lineage, all gathering like billowing clouds. Think that they all appear above your crown and grant blessings and accomplishments according to your supplication. Then the entire assembly of deities dissolves into light. Think that your body, speech, and mind have merged inseparably with the enlightened body, speech, and mind of Magic Lobdon. Rest evenly within the unfabricated nature of mind.
감도 벌어 속 채모 벌고 말이더니 보고 만나더니 막 보게 잡아나더니 막 뛰어 찍을 빼세다더니 진지하게 그거를 깡나들은 다음부터 죽을 깡카하고 요래더니 저런 깡도 좀 돈을 삼는게고 요래지 애들은 라마는서 다시 성적을 돈이 이제 성도적 봐야지 semtoni tona da me ba cha yong go yore te tong to ji ping lo te ma te ji bi che ro yore to ji to da te da ma da ta da shi ha ni te tam ji to na da ka re de sen to kwa ni te ji ji ma da chi pe da re te ji wa na to re
So for the in the third practice, we are playing the bone trumpet, and in the context of church, actually, it is said that one should not blow it too forcefully. So it should not give off a forceful sound at all. It is more like a mother calling for her child with love. So the sound is gentle and compassionate. And it is said that one needs a certain kind of trumpet, bone trumpet, for the church practice. But in brief, what's most important, what you really need, is love and compassion. And so the bone trumpet, or the Dhammaru, what it represents is the union of method and wisdom, or emptiness and compassion, the playing of the Dhammaru drum. When you realize emptiness, then all concepts of there being a self disappear. And in this way, altruism increases further and further. Actually, an increase in compassion is a sign of having truly realized emptiness. So the Dhammaru represents that, the union of method and wisdom. And in brief, it is a sign that you should never separate from emptiness and compassion.
주종 사로 바다 가동 저기 저서 다 심버로 되고 사람들 쇼부도 그걸 자로 보다 졸라 또 뭐지 좀 마담 이제 만들어 좀 거다 만나와 레저 뭐야 가르치 뭐해도 되게 와다 되게 그들 뭐 로도 제디하다 가다 와라 사고는 뭐 돼서 방거라 하라는서 세대 오미랑 마음거라 하라는 도서도 마음거라 하라는 도서도 마음거라 하라는 도서도 마음거라 하는 그런 마치야고 마음거라 하라는 도서도 어찌와들은 동생 담바자가지라 이죠 제와들라 로도데 담바자 거저라 지조 마마메 제 간노말라제 로메tra 지조라네 데벨로마남 제tra 지조 무정에 바테 데베담남 제tra 지조 바제담 사데베 치롱남 제tra 시고 주왕 생락거라 사왕을 낙거 이저서 와라 이래 방보 맞게 차네 내사 내 니사를 돈 받지 저요 저요 내 니사를 돈 받지 르네 잡지로 받지 안에 냠령 받지 심내 뒤시 받지 제에서 마다라 마저라 도저 마저라 제 노마 사발사를 조네 조여로 사자지 뭐냐 저 레냐베 내 얘기도 저서 말 이마 이소 저기다 가자가
그래 띠빠도래.
그래 다들
야.
네.
통지도.
주 담석래 다 일단 주로 담석을 줘 나한테 줘봐 네 산촉 첨대 오늘 다 요말 남진 요말에 대니 돈안 산촉 첨는 비대요에 네 둘라 이 담석 가까이요 얘네한테 또도 산촉 첨는 되고요 참아 이 산촉 첨대다 조박했다고 자고래 나빠 찌었다서 사진의 정대 이 다가 받았더니 담석 집어서 산촉 첨이 고다 고지 발 변주 발 출력 발더니 참아 삼제대들이 산촉생에 지하고 그래 대전에 이 그리제네 아들이 두냐미 제 잡아서 요아요래 들 카도베 클린지는 그 말에 되니 또더니 산촉생 표를 뭐제 마지 바나지를 이번년바 매파에 공을 배가리 줘서 되니 다양 두제 네 저래서 말 나타야 두제 까밤 니마스기 전에 다시 두제 주요데 마주카도 소행이 라마담바이자 당연히 좀 뒤에 이제 냠지 구도 좋은 거에 내가서 왜 밑에 도자들 니 보니 동아들 동아들 왜 이게 두지라라리 이게 뭐더라 좀 뒤에 저 까파만 생기 왜 거래 어디를 뭐 저러죠 저러죠 나로 빈지저로 형 나로 빈지저로 형 답하자 그러지 제대로 남제 동당 공부 당제 맞아 그 주당 왕들은把人弄的，到我手里家就往什么头发，到那个上面这样不，这里边，这样这种。
So when we come to the Samaya, and so regarding the Samaya, the church has its own special Samaya, but that mainly is to cut through self-grasping. And that we really do with the common Samaya of bodhicitta. If you give rise to bodhicitta, there is no self, naturally. So that is how really all Samayas are complete within bodhicitta. Even though it is taught that there are separate Samayas for the chut practice, they really all come back to bodhicitta. So you have to cultivate love and protect that, sustain your love with patience. And that is the common Samaya, really, of all Buddhist practitioners. From the time of the Buddha onwards up until now, that is the Samaya. It is bodhicitta. And that means to treat others with loving kindness. Between your friends, other companions, everyone you meet, between religions and lineages, and so on. This kind of love, loving kindness, we should see this as the Samaya of bodhicitta to be sustained. And so then this also should be mentioned, although there are different church Samayas that we may or may not be able to keep, but we cannot just take a commitment without really knowing anything about it. It would be just empty words. So the commitment is bodhicitta, to cultivate bodhicitta where it has not yet arisen, to not let it decline where it has arisen, and to further increase it. And so then in the empowerment text it says, the church lineage holder Nyima Sengye said, the purpose of the holy dharma of church is to cut through the maras. Church is the life essence of the dakinis of the mother lineage. It is the oral instruction of the holy gurus. It is the experiential instruction of the realized ones. It is the wish-fulfilling jewel that grants all needs and wants. It is the single medicine that cures 100 illnesses. It is the single antidote that tames 100 evil spirits. It is the wisdom that tames the 5 poisons. It is the wisdom sword that cuts through all delusion. This truth empowerment of Magic Labdrön is the essence of the second cycle of teachings of the Buddha, the Dharma wheel without characteristics, the miraculous truth of Guru Rinpoche, the one-taste teachings by the Pandita Naropa, and the Shiche, the pacifying teachings of Padamba Sangye. That's on page 15. So then let's read that together once in English on page 16, the last verse on page 16 in the yellow prayer book. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise, where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
Om Mani Padme 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 Om 한국 찍어줘. Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme like big.
Get it back?
Great, yeah. Oh, man, oh, no, can't find it. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, Rinpoche, 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 أنا في وين من ياهم شو Rinpoche, then check Garchen Rinpoche. Any person that you come here over there. Okay. Thank you for help. Okay, thank you. Good morning. Can you land? Can you land here? Please come here. Come here. Here, please. you by. Oh, mane be, can you one here? Yeah. Oh, mane be me. 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 No, mane be. Maybe they are together, sir. You are together. Oh, mane be me. Oh, yes. Mane be me. Oh, 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 mane be me. Be me. Oh, mane 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 be me. You are here? Oh, mane be me. Oh, maybe here. Oh, mane be me. Oh, mane be me. Oh, mane be me. Maybe go this way. Be me. Oh, you go there. Be me. Oh, mane be me. Oh, mane. You got it? Oh, mane be me. 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 Oh, can you come here together? Here. Oh, mane be. Then we make it roll here. Be me. Oh, mane be me. Oh, mane be. Oh, mane be me. 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 Oh, mane be me.
Hello, Okay, try again. Good evening, everyone. I'm trying. Ina, can I have your... Just three announcements. Okay, great. Three announcements, very quickly. One, please return these in the back table so you can pick them up tomorrow morning. Second one, please return the receivers that you have for the Vietnamese and Chinese translations in the back table. And number three, very important, if you're driving a car, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, they are validating, there's going to be parking, and if you don't pay the $3 parking, all-day parking, they will give you a ticket. We actually verified it with the security, so please get your parking. Have a great evening.
Okay, you email to me. Like easier. Yeah. Because today she don't have to sign. Oh, I didn't know anything about that. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I was thinking. Sorry. She has. Oh, yeah. I didn't know who it is. Yeah. Diane. She had a volunteer doctor. Very good. Yeah. So you send it to me. I send it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.